Imagine the year is 200 AD. You are a Roman merchant in the city of Rome. You have just received a shipment of fabric so beautiful, so fine, so light that it seems almost impossible that human hands made it. Silk from China. You have never been to China. You never will. You do not even know exactly where it is. China and Rome have no direct contact, no shared language, no official trade relationship. And yet, this silk found its way from China to your shop in Rome, across deserts and mountains and rivers and empires, passing through dozens of hands, traveling thousands of miles. How? Through one of the greatest economic systems the ancient world ever built, the Silk Road. For 2,500 years, the Silk Road was not just a trade route, it was the internet of the ancient world. The system through which goods, money, ideas, religions, and diseases traveled between the two ends of the known world. But most people only know the name, not the economics, not the power, not what happened when it died. This is the full story. Welcome to OP Vault. Let us clear up a common misconception right away. The Silk Road was not one road. It was not even mostly roads. It was a network, a sprawling, complex network of routes that stretched from China through Central Asia, Persia, Arabia, and into Europe. Some routes went overland, through deserts and mountain passes. Some went by sea, across the Indian Ocean, and up through the Persian Gulf or Red Sea. And here is the key thing. Almost no one traveled the whole route. A Chinese merchant would take goods as far as Central Asia, maybe to the city of Samarkand or Bukhara. There, Arab or Persian traders would buy them. Those traders would carry them to another hub, maybe Alexandria or Constantinople. There, European merchants would buy them. And finally, the goods would reach Roman markets. Each handoff added cost. Each middleman took a profit. By the time Chinese silk arrived in Rome, its price had multiplied many times over. But who profited most? The people in the middle. The Central Asian and Arab traders who controlled the key hubs of this network. This is why so many powerful empires rose in the middle of the Silk Road. Persia, the Parthians, the Sassanids, later the Islamic caliphates. All of them understood the same thing: control the middle, control the money. You might be wondering, why was it called the Silk Road? What made silk so special? Silk was the iPhone of the ancient world, the luxury product that everyone wanted and almost nobody could make. For centuries, China had a monopoly on silk production. They had figured out how to raise silkworms and weave their cocoons into fabric. And they guarded this secret so carefully that the penalty for revealing the secret of silk production to a foreigner was death. In Rome, silk was considered almost magical. It was lighter than any fabric they knew. It shimmered in a way that wool and linen never could. Wearing silk was a statement of extraordinary wealth and power. At its peak, silk was literally used as currency in China. Government officials were paid in silk. Taxes were collected in silk. Treaties between kingdoms were sealed with gifts of silk. But silk was just the most famous item on the Silk Road. The route also carried spices, glassware, horses, precious metals, and, perhaps most importantly, ideas. Buddhism traveled from India to China along the Silk Road. Islam spread westward and eastward through Silk Road merchants. Mathematics, astronomy, medicine, knowledge flowed with the trade goods. The Silk Road was not just an economic system. It was the mechanism through which human civilization became more interconnected than ever before. But the Silk Road had a dark side that most history books skip over. When goods travel, diseases travel with them. The Silk Road was the highway that brought bubonic plague from Central Asia to Europe. Multiple times, the most devastating, the Black Death in the 1340s, traveled from somewhere in Central Asia along Silk Road trade routes to Crimea, then to Italy, then across all of Europe. Within a few years, it had killed somewhere between a third and half of Europe's population. Between 1347 and 1351, just 4 years, approximately 25 million people died in Europe alone. Think about that. One trade route, one disease, 1/4 of an entire continent's population wiped out in 4 years. And the Silk Road also carried conflict. Whoever controlled the key nodes of the network had enormous economic power and enormous reason to fight over them. Empires rose and fell partly based on who controlled the key mountain passes and desert oasis cities. The Silk Road created wealth, but it also created inequality, exploitation, and the conditions for some of history's deadliest pandemics. Economic connection has always had two sides, the side that builds and the side that destroys. The Silk Road began to decline in the 1400s, and the reason is economics. The Ottoman Empire, which had risen to control much of the Middle East and Central Asia, began charging enormous taxes on goods traveling through their territory. For European buyers, the cost of Silk Road goods became prohibitive. And then, in 1453, the Ottomans captured Constantinople, the most important trading hub connecting East and West. The old routes became even more difficult and expensive. Europe desperately needed an alternative, a way to reach Asia without going through Ottoman territory. And this desperation, this economic pressure, is exactly what drove the Age of Exploration. Portugal sent ships around Africa. Spain funded Columbus going west. All of it motivated by the same economic problem. How do we reach Asian goods without paying Ottoman middlemen? So in a direct line of cause and effect, the decline of the Silk Road caused the Age of Exploration, which caused the European discovery of the Americas, which caused colonial empires, which shaped the entire modern world. One trade route dying, a whole new world opening. Economics does not just describe history. Economics drives history. So let us zoom out. For 1,500 years, the Silk Road was the backbone of the global economy. It connected civilizations, it spread knowledge, it created wealth on a scale the ancient world had never seen. It also spread disease. It created inequality. It gave enormous power to whoever sat in the middle of it. And when political forces disrupted it, when the costs became too high and the routes too dangerous, the world did not just find another trade route, it found an entirely new world. The Silk Road is a perfect case study in how economic systems shape everything else. The rise and fall of empires, the spread of religions and ideas, the outbreak of plagues, the discovery of continents, all of it connected to one question: who controls the flow of goods and money? That question did not die with the Silk Road. It is still the central question of global economics today. If this video opened your eyes to how deeply trade shapes history, hit that like button. Share it with someone who needs the bigger picture. Subscribe to OP Vault. Next week, we keep going deeper. Next up, Weimar Germany, when a wheelbarrow of money couldn't buy bread.